All right, friends, we are now ready for page 3 of the Unit 7 review. So let's take a look at number 7. So number 7 says, Michael needs to make chocolate chip cookies for the school fundraiser. Each bag of chocolate chips costs 85 cents. Now, if he buys 4 or more bags, they only cost 68 cents each. Now, Michael buys 6 bags of chocolate chips. How much will he spend? Well, since he's buying 6 bags, that qualifies for the sale price of 68 cents each. So we got to take 68 cents per bag and multiply by the 6 bags he is purchasing. So we got to go 68 times 6. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to do lattice because I like lattice multiplication. So I'm going to go 68 times 6, and then we're going to add the decimal point afterwards, right? So I'm going to go 68. So, sorry, set up my lattice first. Okay. 68 times 6. Make my diagonals. Right? 8 times 6, 48. 6 times 6 is 36. Add our diagonals, so 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. Put the 0 here, carry the 1, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So now, since we have 2 places, so it's 408 if we did 68 times 6, but now we know that it's 68 cents. So that's going to be, we're going to put our decimal point here after the dollar sign. So $4.08. Okay, it will be how much he spends. All right, so number 8. There's a lot going on here, so we're going to try to break this down as best we can, okay? So we have Maggie and Carly, and they work as hostesses at 2 restaurants. So they work at Tom's Tacos, and over there, they each work 8 hours per week. Together, Maggie and Carly make $160 each week at Tom's Tacos. So that's Tom's Tacos. Now, at the other place, at Pam's Pizzeria, they each work 9 hours per week, and together they earn $216 each week at Pam's Pizzeria. So our question is, what do we want to find out? Well, we want to find out which restaurant pays more per hour to each girl, and how much more per hour. So we got 2 things we're trying to look for. So I'm going to do this on a separate scrap paper here a minute. Okay, so let me do that. So let's start with Tom's Tacos. Okay, so at Tom's Tacos, they each work 8 hours per week, and together they make $160 each week at Tom's Tacos. So we got to start with how much they make, all right? Because we want to figure out how much per hour each girl makes, right? So we got to take the $160 that they make, okay? And then we got to divide that by 2 between Maggie. Sorry, I'm crooked here. Oops, sorry about that. So we got to take that $160 each week, and we got to divide it by Maggie and Carly, and that's going to give us how much each girl makes. Okay, so we got to do that, and then what we got to do after. Let me just put this in parentheses here. Then after we figure that out, then we got to divide it by how many hours they work per week, which is 8. Okay, because again, if we start with 100, what they make, and divide it in half, okay, that would be each girl. But then each girl also works 8 hours, so that's why we got to divide it by 8. All right, so that's what we got to do. And then for Pam's Pizzeria, we got to do the same thing. Okay, so we got to do. So at Pam's Pizzeria, they make $216. So once again, we got to divide that between Maggie and Carly. So we're going to divide that by 2. And then we want to know how many hours how much per hour. Now they work 9 hours per week. So we got to take that and divide it by 9. All right. So now what we got to do is estimate. Well, right now, we don't really know where they make more money. Because what we have to do first is solve it. And then we got to figure out where they make more money because they want to know which restaurant pays more per each girl. So we're going to just figure out how much they pay per hour per each girl. So for the estimate, what I'm thinking about doing is let's take Tom's Tacos here for a minute. We're going to go 160 because that's pretty friendly. And we're going to divide that by 2 because we can do that easy enough in our head. That would be 80. But I'm going to take this 8 and I'm going to round it up to 10. Because I know that 160 divided by 2 would be 80, right? So 160 divided by 2 would be 80 because we take 160, cut it in half. And then we're going to divide 80 by 10. Well, this is an extended fact. And we know that this equals $8 per hour, approximately. Again, this is an estimate for Tom's Tacos. Okay, now let's do Pam's Pizzeria. Well, 216, I'm going to round that to 20, or 220, sorry. And again, 220 divided by 2, we could do that easy enough. So 220 divided by 2, take that in half. That would equal, so again, we're doing that 216. Again, I turned it into 220. Divided by 2, that would equal 110. Because 100 in half would, 200 in half would be 100. 20 in half would be 10. And then I'm going to take the 9, and I'm going to again round that up to 10, because that would make it then an extended fact. Okay. So 110 divided by 10 would equal $10 per hour, and that is at Pam's Pizzeria. Okay, so that would be our estimate for now. Okay, so we just estimated how much per hour each restaurant makes. So now let's go solve this for the actual answer. All right, so for Tom's Tacos, 160 divided by 2. Well, we figured that out already. That was 80. And 80 divided by 8 equals, well, if we ask ourselves what times 8 gets us 80, that would be 10. Okay, so Tom's Tacos pays, let me just put $, here, $10 per hour. All right, let's figure out Pam's Pizzeria. Well, 216 divided by 2, so let's cut that in half. So I can kind of do that in my head because I can say, okay, well, 200 in half would be 100. 16 in half would be 8. So that would be 108. Now we got to take 108, divide that by 9. Well, that's not as easy to do in my head, so I'm going to do partial quotients. Set up my partial quotient. 108 divided by 9. So I'm going to go 10. 10 times 9 is 90. When I subtract, I get 8. Trade 10. 10 take away 9 is 1. So I'm left with 18. Well, I know that 9 times 2 gets me 18. So that brings me down to the 0. And when I'm at the 0, I know I need to add the numbers here on the side. So 10 plus 2 is 12. So our answer to that, 108 divided by 9, equals 12. And that's $12 per hour. So let's go back to our question. Which place pays more? Well, that would be Pam's Pizzeria. So we're just going to write Pam's here. Pam's pays more per hour, and it pays how much more? Well, she pays $12, and Tom's Tacos pays $10 an hour. So that would be $2 per hour more. So our equation with our unknown now would be, again, what we did here. All right. So we wanted to know how much more per hour. So we know that Pam's paid more. So we're going to put hers first. Let me put my camera down here. So we're going to take Pam's first, and then we're going to subtract it from what Tom paid. Hard time with my camera this morning. There we go. So Pam's was 216, and I'm going to go like this for divided by 2, and then divided by 9, because that's what we did. 216 divided by 2 divided by 9. Take away Tom's, which was 160 divided by 2 divided by 8 equals, and we could just put h for hours. That would be our equation with our unknown. Look back at your estimate. Well, does it make sense? Well, yeah, because our estimate was also about $2 more per hour, right? Because we estimated that Tom's tacos paid $8 an hour and Pam's paid $10 per hour when we estimated. So that makes sense to me. So yes, my answer makes sense because it was close to my actual answer. So yes, my answer makes sense because it's close to my actual answer. All right, and that is page 3. Hope this was helpful.